Hey, what's going on, guys? Phil here. Welcome back to another patch notes review of December 2023. This is the second patch this month, and we're going to go ahead and dive into all the details here, and I'm going to give my feedback, how I feel about the things, and we'll see, how you guys feel in the comments down below. Ramen made right here in the United States, full of nutrients you need and protein to help you recover. Grab Vite Ramen today, link in the description. Use code NGNG for 10% off your order. So let's go ahead and dive in here. Of course, they talk about the stocking stuffer event, 12 Days of Christmas treasure hunt event, and the two very December free mechs that we're going to be getting into. Let's see, they talk about looking back the past 12 months, including rebranding to Legends, the launch of the legendary BattleMechs series, such as the menacing Atlas Warlord with a laser eye monocle, not laser eye monocle, that's the way to go with that. The Gore Wing and its 360 torso degree twist, which by the way is the first time they've actually said it actually has 360 torso twist. That's more info in that particular thing. If you didn't know, it has 360 torso twist. Now you do. Last month's enhanced Centurion Onyx with the shield, and again, very, very cool. And the clan tech equip mechs like the monstrous Godzilla, Baden, and I don't know how you pronounce that. Whatever. It's Urban Mech, the twins. We've got new maps here, the Scrapyard and Frigid Bearclaw 2, which again we'll be talking about a little bit later. New weapons, binary, X-pulse lasers, and hags. No mention of hags here. Yeah, so hags are probably the bigger one out of all this. All right. Obviously say thank you. Yeah, so let's go ahead and just roll in here. Obviously everything's subject to change. They basically say MW Comp Championship Series 2023 Finals. Another exciting season. MW Comp Championship Series is close to a close this past weekend with Equilibrium taking top spot over second place 5th Jaguar Dragoons. Great performances from all the top teams this year, making another season featuring the best competitive players in MWO. December events and sales. Looking ongoing events. Sales this month. Phoenix Protocol event, the Advent Series annual stocking stuffer. This is actually a big one. The stocking stuffer event. For those that don't know, this is just like a loot bag event for Halloween and stuff like this. You have the event in-game that you can claim the stuff, but you also still have to go to the website to get your redeem for all the loot bag events. I cannot stress, I didn't know this for years. It's not automated. There are hundreds of items that you can get for free, including MC, Mech Bays, C-Bills, GSP, GXP, all the stuff. You have to go to the website. So make sure to do that. It's not exactly the clearest system. December free mech event. See the very special free mechs below. And the 12 Days of Christmas treasure hunt, where you'll be hunting down participating developers and content creators to win dev kill medallions and bonus MC. I do know that's around the 22nd onward of December, and that is the dev kill medallion. I know Darren's reached out and talked about it. I think he's reached out to all the streamers. So that'll be exciting. All right, new legendary BattleMechs. And again, you do have to redeem the battle pass. For those that don't know, it's not a traditional battle pass system. Basically what you're doing is you're purchasing this pack, and as you play it for X amount of matches, you're earning XP, and during that you are unlocking stuff like the Warhorn and cockpit items and the C-Bills. So first up on the agenda is the Longbow Spitfire. First thing I got to say, and just go ahead and talk about this, is I love the camo pattern of it. The Spitfire, I think everybody knows about it, or at least if you're old enough to. I'm actually aging myself there. If you don't know about this, based off World War II plane, Google it. I love it. I think it's awesome. I think it's fantastic. Now, as far as the mech itself, the longbow, haven't been as impressed with the longbow myself, but that's a lot of missiles. Why is it a lot of missiles? Because it has 14 missile hardpoints. That's why. 2 energy. This actually has a pretty unique HSL, and that is +6 HSL for LRM5s and +3 for rocket launchers. What does that mean? Basically, it comes equipped with rocket launchers, but it's going to allow you to fire pretty much LRM5s without any ghost heat. That's pretty much almost what it's going to do. I think you'll get ghost heat on 2, because I think there's ghost heat after 6. I don't know. Anyways, my point being, it's going to be an LRM boat. No jump jets, no ECM on this particular variant. Again, with the amount of rockets that you can stuff into this, It will be interesting. I know we've had sort of mixed thoughts. We were talking about this last night on stream, which, by the way, I do stream Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. If you'd like to join, twitch.tv/NGNGTV. There will be a link down below. I like the aesthetic. Obviously, with hardpoint bloat, you can sort of see where this is going. To utilize the rockets, you're going to have to be close. There is a minimum range on rockets. You need to do your research on that one, because if you fire them too close, they do no damage. If you fire them too far, they won't do damage. You got to be in that sweet spot. So that all being said, I like the aesthetic of the paint scheme. It is a very, very large mech. But yeah, it's the longbow. It's the Spitfire, so that's the latest one. Next up here is the Axum, and this is a ballistic stone rhino, which... Wow, that's a lot of bloom on all ballistics. As you can see here, they're sort of taking the all energy approach variant. No energy in the arms. This one has no ballistic in the arms. It's all in the torso. I think it looks sort of crazy, the amount of ballistics. Obviously, we already knew it could do 4 up there on the other variants, but now it's got even more. And speaking of more, it's got 8 ballistic, no energy, no missile, no ECM. It does have jump jets. There's obviously more to talk about when it comes to clan tech, but in general, this is another 100-ton, clan battle mech that you're going to be able to, bring to bear. And overall, I've actually been impressed with the Stone Rhinos. I was not expecting them to be able to perform the way they did because they are so big. This particular variant, and especially this legendary mech, you don't have to worry about any low slot or low hard points. It's all, it's cockpit level or higher. So I think overall performance is going to be good. Again, -10 on heat, and then the basic armor for quirks and so forth. Nothing crazy on it because, again, this is a clan battle mech. I think you're going to have plenty to go around here. So you'll be seeing this one out there. I do actually like the camo pattern, not the colors. I think, again, it reminds me a little bit of, sort of like Native American sort of, like Nava, I don't know, like designs on that. I don't know. It just reminds me of like the blankets that you sort of see. Anyways, I dig it. I think it's really cool. We'll be checking this out on stream, of course. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the free BattleMechs. And again, by free, this basically means is all you have to do is play X amount of matches and you're going to unlock and you can claim these. This mech in particular, the Warhammer 6R, does come with the Seabuild bonus, which is really nice. And then on top of that, it's got a unique camo pattern here. And in particular, this is the 6R. It's a pretty basic 6R. There's nothing special about it. But again, you're getting the basically a hero version of it with 30% Seabuild. So that's actually really cool. And it's got the camo here with the belt buckles and so forth, like Santa Claus. So that's really cool. I like it. We've had the 6R before. It's a solid all-around mech. For a 70-tonner, it pretty much can do anything. You want energy, you want ballistic, you want a combo of energy ballistic, that's your go-to. And for the most part, it's high mounts. You can do dual 20s, dual heavy Gauss, you can do light Gauss, ERP. You can do everything. Pretty much where you're going to do it is in the torso. It's a very versatile heavy, so good choice. Like the camo, it's really good. Next up, after that, and again, we don't have to go over the quirks, is a new variant. This is terrifying in a way, I'm not going to lie. All I can think about is players like Turtles, which Turtles, you're too good in this dang thing already. Now we just gave you a zombie version of it, because why not? That's what we're doing here. This is the elf, if you will, the DO3. And again, this is getting you a 30% Seabuild boost. You're getting it for free. What makes this different from other commandos? First off, mask. It's got mask. Yeah, you heard me, mask. Second off, 3 energy in the torso. Yeah, you heard me. 3 energy in the torso and then 2 in the cockpit. How can that be, Phil? How's there? It's just like the Atlas. Basically, it's a small cockpit, small sensor, stuff like that. So, why did I call it a zombie mech? Because you're going to be able to run a standard, very large standard on this, lose left, right, torso, arms, and still keep firing, which is going to be interesting. So, expect this little elf commando, the DO3, rocking around, of course, with probably some upgraded, internal structure and so forth. It does have Indo Steel, does have double, and it does have Pharaoh. You're not going to need a whole lot else other than that, just because. But yeah, mask, because 113 kph stock. Yeah. Also, range on this is 20% on small pulse and IS laser range. So 20% on top of whatever your skills you're going to toss at it. So expect this to be just super annoying. That's what I'm expecting. And turtles, we're going to run right into them. You know it's going to happen. Camo pattern, I mean, it's very simple. I think it's very unique. You're going to be able to change up the, base, secondary, and tertiary. So we'll check this out in game. New bundles of joy. Patch day, we will see a new addition of this year's bundle of joy to the web store, which includes new BattleMech bundles, never before offered Wardhorn bundles. Man, people have been asking about this for a very long time, and now we get it. Warhorns. You're going to be able to buy them, and I think a lot of people will be excited about that. So, bundled Warhorns. I'm hoping they release some that are like special to some of the legendaries and or special events. Like the Get Wrecked one that Starwolf did. I really like. I'd love to be able to get that one. But anyways, all right, let's go ahead and dive into some of the big stuff here. And this happens to be stuff, weapons and equipment. Weapons first. LRM5s. You're going to see this on Clan and IS. Basically, are using their own heat penalty group, unlinked from other LRMs. LRM5s can now be used to complement larger launchers without contributing to the total heat scale threshold. Increased minimum heat penalty to 7 from 5. So what did that mean? If you have no idea what I'm talking about, basically if you fired 5 LRM5s, you get no penalty. If you fired 6 LRM5s, you'd get a slight increase as far as penalty. The problem is how heat scale works, is that say you were launching 2 LRM20s and you added a 5, you could have a pretty substantial increase in heat. This is basically it decoupled them, so you could have 2 LRM20s and a 5 here, and it's not going to affect the ghost heat parameters here, which is actually really nice. And that's, I think, smart too, because you just don't see LRM5s out there, and that's Clan or IS side. They already have so much going against them. You already have ECM, you have AMS. AMS chews through LRM5s and ATMs, by the way, which we'll talk about in a second. But anyways, that's just one of those things where I think this is a good thing. I think this is a smart thing. Also, there's a lot of mechs that can boat LRM5s. Again, looking at the Arctic Wolf and Jenner and so forth and so on. So Clan ATM 3s is now using its own heat penalty. Again, the same similar thing. This group also shared with Clan LRM5. So again, this is one of those, these are linked. Again, I think that's a solid thing across the board. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about basically racks here, because I feel like there's a lot of confusion here. There were some changes here. Navid was in chat and Tios was in chat. There's not a whole lot going on here. It's just damage per second, generated heat per second, total potential damage from ton of ammo for both rack autocannons remains unchanged. So there was some lack of communication here. Pretty much increased rate of fire, but the damage per second doesn't change. There's just more DACA. Again, you can read here, increased rate of fire to 10 rounds per second from 7.2. It looks like they were sort of standardizing and improving it 5s and 2s across the board. But again, read that little note. Damage per second, heat generated, basically nothing changes there. All right, let's go and talk about hyper assault Gauss rifles, the Hags out there. Now you're going to be able to distinguish between whether you got fired at by a Hag, by the particle effects, and that sparks are now purple to visually distinguish them from Gauss rifles. So Gauss rifles, again, you'll see that sort of the gray particle effects. Now there'll be purple, and there's that. So overall, as far as like weapon stuff, I think it's nothing crazy here. I think it's a good change here. All right, let's talk about equipment adjustments, and this is actually a really, really nice one. Advanced sensor package. I think it was Navid, maybe even Tios, that talked about this was coming towards light mechs. Right now, pre-patch, it was only assaults and heavies. This is a new piece of equipment that was sort of repurposed. It used to be the old command console, repurposed. Now, I've already started using this, by the way, because if I can increase my sensor range by 10%, stacked with a BAP or CAP, and you can't do it with their clans, but it's stacked with a BAP, And then maybe your mech has a bonus for like 100. You can push out your I've seen sensor ranges over 2,000 meters. It's 2,300. So where is that important? That's important against countering ECM, because your counter ECM goes out further if you have BAP as well. So it's all a good thing. I like it. We're sort of seeing the first steps of the ECM changes and so forth, and we're going to talk about that as well. All right, so single heat sinks, and this is for Intersphere and Clan. The first 10 heat sinks equipped on a mech, including the ones that come with the engine, now provide 0.18 heat second dissipation from 0.15. Every single heat sinks equipped after the first 10 remain unchanged at 0.15. I'm okay with this. I think it's a good thing, especially in whether it's someone running a stock or maybe that particular mech has a smaller engine. I think that's good. I think, again, we've sort of talked about this. I don't think there needs to be much discussion on that. That's overall good. This is going to be the big one. We've heard all of the devs talk about it. We've heard the Cauldron talk about it. I did a podcast with Bearclaw talking about changes to Clan double heat sinks, and here we have it. And it'll be interesting sort of seeing how it plays out. But Clan double heat sink dissipation rate has been reduced 0.2. That's basically 10% here from 0.22. That affects both internal heat sinks and external mounted heat sinks. Now, what is this going to do? Is this a big enough change? 10% is 10%. I'm glad that individuals like Targato, thank you again if you're listening, that brought up an alternative to this, because this was sort of a different take than, changing the capacity. They went in the dissipation. And we've had this before in 2018, 2019 timeframe is when dissipation was increased. And that was sort of what Torgato pointed out, which was sort of the time frame. By the way, he may not be the only one. I just know in public discourse, he's the one who pointed that out in my chat. And we were going back and forth. And I know that discussion was going on with Cauldron behind the scenes, and it looks like they came to the same conclusion. They're pulling it back a little bit. Is this going to affect a lot of mechs? Yes, it is. It may not seem like much, but it had a significant change along with last month's, basically cool shot changes. I think those two things combined, it's incremental little changes that I think is welcome instead of just pulling the Band-Aid off. I know. It'll be interesting sort of seeing what happens here. Can you do the large alphas? I still think you can here. But the difference here is your follow-up alpha. What's that going to look like? And that's really what I think they're trying to curb, right? So if you're trying to push someone, yeah, they may giga, laser you or whatever at first. But that time between they fire, well, yeah, technically they could fire, but then they're going to roast themselves. And anyways, it'll be a unique dynamic I'm excited to test out. All right, ECM, something that hasn't been changed since the introduction. The jamming effect bubble radius of ECM has been reduced to 90 meters from 120. This includes both enemy disruption distances and friendly protection distances. For those that don't know or didn't know the exact bubble, because it doesn't visually show you on the mini map, it does show an indicator, which I recently realized. That's been reduced. Is this a good thing? Yes, I think it's a good thing. I think this is a good step in the right direction. ECM has been out of control with the amount of mechs that we have, and it does hard counter a type of weapon system. And that's lock-on weapons. I think this is the right step in the right direction. It's not overly, crazy. 90 meters. What does that mean? Basically, a lot of people I don't think realize they were under ECM protection from the friendly, but now you're going to have to either be closer or you're going to have that in the back of your head of, giving someone ECM as well. So this is Clan and IS both effectively. So that, again, that's a really good thing. And that also, I think, is going to affect, mechs going up against them, getting in within that 90-meter bubble, and then they sort of hose you. Like, there's nothing you can do. I know we've experienced that quite a bit, or at least I should say, Warboss has in a lot of my streams. So there's that. Anyway, so these are pretty big changes. I think it's small, incremental. I like that. I like that it's actually happening. Is it going to be enough? I don't know. I don't know if the one thing I would like to see, and I guess I'll put this out there, it would be cool seeing if Teos, because I've heard he was the one who was looking at what they can change with ECM. It would be interesting knowing what variables can you play with. Just publicly, just put it up just so we know, and that we can read and we can go from there. And then, is there any other things? I do know we did a PTS years ago And on that PTS, we actually had a changed mechanic for ECM. If you never participated in that particular PTS, let me explain. If I have ECM and I'm standing out in the open, you have line of sight. Right now, unless you're within range, you can't lock on to me. You can see me, you can't lock on to me. No lock on acquired, right? On the PTS, this particular one that we're talking about, if you stood out there, it basically delayed the lock on. So if I stood in the open for 5 seconds or 3 seconds, whatever it was, my mech would eventually get the lock. That is on a PTS. That was in the past. And the reason I'm bringing that up is that potentially can be pulled. But I'd bring that up to you guys out there in the community. Is that something? Because I do feel like ECM, even with this change, which I think is still is good, I think ECM is just, it's broke. So many mechs have it, and it's only going to get worse. So anyways, tossing that out there. PTS, could we pull that? It'd be interesting hearing from the devs too. Tios, Navid, Cauldron, what do you guys feel about that? Is that even possible? What are your guys' thoughts? Is it a dumb idea? I don't know. All right, BattleMech adjustments. St. Ives Blues. This actually just got a additional left torso missile hardpoint, so now it's up to 3. That's good. Funny enough, I was just playing the St. Ives, but using 2 binaries. Centurion, A, AH, AL, and D match torso and arm agility stats with the Onyx. And basically, we have some turn rate increases here and arm actuation rate increase. Again, these are all buffs. I like it. Cool. The 9D or the 9D and the Yen Low match torso agility with the Onyx. Again, the Onyx I think has been popular. It is a interesting mech. It's interesting. It's not as fast as the Yen Low, but you get that added 100 plus hit points to the left arm. It can be very good if used correctly. Let's just put it that way. Let's see, longbow here, 12R, and does jump jet shake has been reduced and made consistent with other mechs with jump jets. Some people didn't even realize that there was a variant with jump jets, so now you know. We got some mech quirk adjustments. This is to the 2 Irby 2Cs, the hash, whatever, and a Abaddon, or a bad, I call it a Abaddon, Bandon, I don't know, whatever. I actually like this. This sort of pulls it away from the niche sort of large weapon that I feel like it had. And it makes them unique, especially considering I feel like they sort of fell off the face of the earth, and the IS ones were just straight up better. This gives them a little bit of flavor. I like it. I think you'll see them a little bit out there, a little bit more popular. It's obviously, a 30-ton assault mech, and, let's give them some more buffs, because why not? But in particular, the 2Cs did actually need help, all jokes aside. Thunderbolt, 10 SE, cooldown, missiles. Okay, cool. Marauder, Blight, match survival, bonus quirks of the Mad 5D. I think this is needed. You don't see the Blight very often. So that's something to check out. Longbows, 12C and 12R, missile velocity and missile spread. This is actually really important. I didn't feel that there was as much diversity in the longbows, considering basically 3 of them are energy and ballistic, or just ballistic, so forth. And then the other are energy and missile and so forth. They needed something to be distinguished between some of the variants. And of course, we'll check out some of those changes. Annihilator here, if you're an anti-pilot, there you go, some changes here. I did just play the hero version of it, and it's missile spread -20, which could be nasty because you can throw 4 MERM 30s on it with that spread plus spread in the quirks. That's gonna be disgusting, and it gets replace heat with just missile heat, MRM heat with just missile. That actually might be good for LRMs now too. So there's that. Are you going to see more annies with missiles? LRMs? Because why not? I'm sure Twitch chat won't troll me with that one. All right, let's talk about map adjustments. Added invisible boundary walls to Steiner Coliseum to prevent players from jumping to the upper levels. What are you players doing out there? Breaking stuff. Fix multiple stuck points on Bear Claw. Good to hear. My overall feelings about Bear Claw, I think it's a good map. I like it. I'm glad that the spots got fixed. I did ask Krasdax in my Twitch chat about the lighting. It's very dark in there. If you notice, everything's just you can't even tell what paint scheme a mech has. Everything's just black, and then the building's black. It's very difficult to see in there. I did ask about lighting. He says he is looking into it, and that maybe that'll be addressed in the future. So they've got that. So, and of course we got fixed jump jet shake, and then fixed victory came on the Centurion Onyx. So, quite a big patch here. Overall, like I said, considering what was going on this past patch. I did mention this is the second patch for this month. Unfortunately, November patch was a little bit of a disaster, but there's a silver lining. They basically discovered that there was a problem with, item IDs. There were so many bolt-ons in the game that it was starting to break stuff. We had server instability, disconnects, some of the Centurions were causing issues. We were all playing on Oceanic. Anyways, it got fixed this past week. Everything's been kudos. Also, I've just sort of noticed the game has been a little bit more responsive. I don't know if that's just anecdotal. I also removed a lot of people off my friends list, which helps load, because every single time I'd click on the friends list, I would load those like 2,000 plus names. So I've removed a lot of people. So if you're listening and you haven't logged in MWO in over a year, you're not on my friends list. So log back in, play, and come join. But anyways, what are your guys' thoughts on this? Are you enjoying the legendary mechs? What are your thoughts on the longbows? What are your thoughts on the clan double heat sinks and ECM changes? Do you think it's going to be enough? I don't know if the ECM changes are going to be enough. I don't know if the double heat sink changes are going to be enough. But it is a nerf. It's a step in the right direction. I would like to see some wishful thinking, maybe January, February, is discussion about radar depth. And I don't know, maybe we'll see discussions about groups and solo players. I don't know. We're getting crazy here. Anyways, guys, that's been my feedback for the December patch and my review. So let me know if you agree with me, you disagree with me, you don't like the ideas. Again, let me know in the comments down below. If you did find this informative, interesting, click the like button, and leave a comment down below. What's your favorite change in this patch? Do you have one, or what's something that you don't like in the patch? Leave it down below. And again, make sure to join Discord. I'll have a link below this video. And if you guys want to help support, consider becoming a patron. You can become a Twitch sub, Discord sub, a member here on YouTube. We only have like 2 members, so quick shout out to those individuals, Tetno and Father Bill. Thank you guys. But yeah, that's gonna be it, and I will see you guys on the next video. Until next time. The new Hunchback designs are live at nogutsnogalaxy.net. Grab yours today. You've been a good mech warrior, have you not?